Well, it's not really changed, but confirmed a change in the world that's already happened. It confirmed what the world, and I think many Americans already knew about this cabinet, people like Hegseth, Gabbard, that I columnized about, is that they're incompetent, that they're not qualified for the enormous responsibility that they're wielding right now for these roles. That was incompetent and irresponsible. And number two, that America thinks under the Trump administration, I should say, thinks very poorly, disparagingly, contemptuously about its allies, specifically in Europe. J.D. Vance jumps out in this thread on Signal. He, basically has a loathing for Europe, and which he also expressed in a speech he gave at the Munich Security Conference very recently. And it just came out again. And then Hegseth, the defense secretary, jumped on top of that. Couldn't agree with you more. It's pathetic. We got to make them pay, them being the Europeans. So that message was out there, is that Trump cannot be relied on to, for example, honor the mutual defense clause of NATO. He is no longer interested in alliances or America's traditional friends, and is happier being cozy with its former enemies and adversaries like Vladimir Putin. So that was all in that chat as well. So it was kind of a weird kind of like you open the mind of the administration and out it spills, and now it's there for all of us to see. We knew it before, but
Well,
every time we see it confirmed, we get a little bit more nervous.
Andreas, I think it's fair to say that there are quite a few Americans who do also subscribe to that view that, for example, Europe is not necessarily pulling its weight. What would you say to those Americans who don't see the same importance of those European allies as you do? Make the case.
No. And in fact, I am one of these Americans that hold that view, that the Americans, that is a different matter. Going back to many administrations, Democrat and Republican, American presidents have agreed or stipulated and told the Europeans that you're not pulling enough weight. What I'm talking about is the disdain, the contempt this administration shows for the allies who are still allies, and the lack of appreciation that there are bigger strategic, sometimes moral, sometimes geopolitical advantages of having these allies who now are scrambling to find alternative alliances or other arrangements up to and including building their own nuclear weapons. That's a debate in South Korea, in Poland, in Japan, all over Europe, because they feel they can no longer rely on the United States. This has a lot of ramifications that go beyond whether each country spends 2% of GDP on the military or even more, all of which I think they should do anyway.